Welcome to the Grappling Hour post show for the Aiga Trials Day 1. Here were the top 10 notable moments. I thought this was America, people. There was a moment in this trials process where Gio Martinez was looking around and thought to himself, wait, you mean I'm not allowed to do a twister? Yeah, they told him that there was no such thing allowed at this particular tournament. So you got to see this epic moment when he actually turned, I'm pretty sure not only to his team members, but to Eddie and everybody else just standing on the sidelines when he threw up the hands and goes, we can't do this here? And he had to let it go. Now, granted, he kept it for a few seconds later, but it was an excellent exchange. And it's a great opportunity for us to say, Gio Martinez, respect to you, brother, because I can't believe how good you still look as a competitor. It is fantastic to see you in this rule set, and we just miss you, dude. Like, it is always a great opportunity to see you at work. So big ups to our good friend Gio Martinez. Mystery order. Did you know that for this particular event, the way they did it was that they did the categories out of order? That's kind of cool. And I'm all for that, except for one thing. The way in which they don't really tell that to the people or communicate it a certain way made everybody look so confused throughout the evening. So it looked like as they were about to get their card, they literally look at them, they're like, pull a card. And they're like, why am I pulling? This isn't a kid's party. What is this your card? And they just basically did that to them each time. And the way that different coaches responded to it, some played into it. Some were like, here's my weight class. Here's the next one. And others were like, who do I have to show this? Do you need to see this? And at certain points, Jake Watson, who is announcing these people picking the cards out at random, had to basically turn around and get them to show him that card. So that was another notable moment from the day. But mystery order, don't know about it. Mystery is still out on that one. Big shout out to the homie, Isaac Cordova. He might have killed a guy. Got weird. Isaac Cordova was just one of the many people who looked very good throughout the day, but I have to say this, there is a special appreciation for what he was able to do. He took on a very good competitor, I believe it's Tudang, from over at American Legion Jiu-Jitsu, and, you know, he definitely was giving him a great clash, but Isaac looked so calm, so composed, and actually put his opponent to sleep where he was twitching. So I'm glad to see that his opponent was okay. We just wanted to give a shout out to Dovadog himself because it was fairly impressive. And like I said, once you know the opponent's okay, then we got to come here and say, that's a pretty epic moment. So shout out to friend of the show, Dovadog, for an incredible moment like that. I have to say this, team finishers in their initial entry did show out today. They set the tone very nicely, and that team, it was a nice little ragtag team of individuals here. But just to give you an idea of how they were able to set the tone so early in the day, when you had the finishers team out there, they looked as strong as they were billed throughout the day. You essentially had them looking very good against Legion, but you had Cordova, Alan Sanchez picking up wins. Renee Souza had a very good match against Bobby Winther, but did go on the wrong side of a decision there. And from those last couple things, you did see Sid, you did see Adam Bradley putting in good moments, but ultimately it was a very good moment for the finishers team. So big shout out to them and how they were able to set the tone here earlier today. So others did it, but they did it very well to start the day off on. Let's go to our next one, which is this. It was also a very good day for the PGF players. Now, I know that we were looking forward to seeing big moments from people like Dory, but Dory actually didn't compete today. So we're not sure how he's going to do, but Dory's going to probably do well tomorrow. I think they're probably resting him. That's the benefit of this particular format, is you can rest certain people and have them accessible at different times. Nonetheless, the competitors that we did see, Adam Bradley looked good, Kyle Chambers looked good, Braylor Grout looked good, and then of course Ryan Aiken made short work of his opponent. So if you're looking for what we can be excited about in this next season of the PGF, I think you have to give some love to the fact that the PGF players that are very quickly about to turn around and do it all in Vegas made an impressive showing at tonight's event. So big shout outs to the homies there for doing the great work. I have to give a shout out, respect to Team Vanguard. Team Vanguard had some of the most epic moments of the day. And Daniel Stolasu, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, looked incredible. The leg attacks were right on point, and it definitely did make us jump out of our seat. But of course, Flava Flav looked pretty good. I thought he had a great back and forth. And of course, if you're looking at it, Josh Sanders picked up a win, looked great. Nick Ronan, who we don't always get to see compete because he's been opening up his own academy, looked very solid. And when it came down to Dylan Garofalo, he was this close to securing a win for his team. And I got to tell you, that heart he displayed out there, I thought was really good. So I do want to give our due respect to that Team Vanguard. We'll see how tomorrow plays out, but I at least wanted to make sure that they get respect for what they were able to put out here today. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one, which is things got a little shady. Look at this guy. This dude's like super shady. Why is he wearing the shades inside? We learned on the commentary that, yes, it did appear that he was going through, I guess, some medical issues, so he had to kind of keep the shades on. Like maybe the lights were too extreme, but whatever reason it was, I thought he looked pretty cool. At one point, they referred to him as the Terminator on commentary, but I gotta tell you, I think he actually looked even cooler than that. And I'm not opposed to it, but I do have to say, if you do miss a tap, maybe we need to have you take it off, because the checkmat people might say that Bobby Winther did tap maybe within the second, but Bobby Winther's the homie, so I would never say that. But like other people said that, so just saying, maybe not always on them, but it does give them an opening to say stuff about that sort of thing. Nonetheless, cool fashion statement. Let's go to this. Switch ups. Okay, guys, we need to figure out a way to make this work, and here's why. At one point, Team Checkmat was coming out for their very first and last round of the day. When they did, they pulled a switcheroo and they had Elder Crews that they were going to sit down. Shouldn't be a problem, but if you don't tell people in a certain order, which is within their right, but if they don't hit it by a certain time, it's not in on the graphics team. Now, as a production guy, I feel we need a cutoff time. So whatever it is you're doing as an organizer for Aiga, you have to tell the team when it's the last absolute second they can let you know. And then have a plan to maybe have some hold or elevator music while maybe you tell your team to just kind of stall or vamp. Because it got real awkward when he's like, and it's Elder Crews. It's supposed to be Elder Crews. Elder Crews, please. Just saying. It's not bad to play the rules, but we just need to figure out a way that looks better as a production. Hey, new thing. Out of bounds be damned. Look at this. They were letting people go off mats. Now, at this particular juncture, this is a relatively safer version of what ended up playing out yesterday, or today, I guess I should say. But when it took place, they actually moved the table because they were like, you know what? He looks like he might have a Darce here. We got to let them keep going, which is kind of in that realm of what they do at ADCC. And it begs the question, why do we keep letting people do this? We don't actually have to let them go out of bounds. If they're going out of bounds, maybe we need to have a rule set or some way to encourage them there, because they had plenty of mat space tonight. So it's not any of those reasons. Let's just try to figure out what the rule set is going to be, because I feel like that's when you're going to get people who get hurt. Let's go to our next one, which is, and I think this is actually our 10th one. Rules? What rules? So hilariously, in the chat for the YouTube free stream here tonight, Tom Lawler was in the comment section and basically said, I don't understand what any of these rules are, but I've seen it like 5 different times on 5 different Flow broadcasts. I kind of like what I see. And I think that really gets to the core of what Aiga is. Nobody knows what the rules are or can explain them. Clearly, this guy couldn't in 20 minutes time. There's something about it, but I think we need to fix it. I think we need to make it a little simpler, because as it is, there are far too many ways to have to explain all the things you have to do to advance. And again, I say this with all love. Graphics team, graphics team, graphics team. Let your graphics team give us an update on who, what, where, when, and why. And I think you might have a better broadcast. And that's the recap of what happened here tonight at Aiga Trials US Day 1.